The Cardinal baseball team is headed to the heart of CCIW action after starting conference play by jumping out to a 4-1 record. We take a look at how they've been getting it done on the diamond in the first half of their season, right here on the Cardinal Report. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me this week is baseball head coach John Fitzgerald. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So before you guys headed into CCIW play, the team starts out with a 9-4 record. What were some of the things that were working early for the Cardinals?
That's a great question. I think more than anything else, our defense and our pitching improved quite a bit. We scheduled differently this year in the non-conference portion. The race to go to the Division III National Tournament is different than it was 5 years ago, I think. And there's a real big emphasis on who you play, quality of opponent, strength of schedule, things like that. So the days of going to Florida and leaving your schedule up in the air to the tournament hosts who are going to put that together can either be very beneficial for you at the end or it can be very bad. So we've tried to schedule programs more than teams in a given year and play some teams on the road that historically are teams that are NCAA tournament teams. And that worked out well for us this year. I think our strength of schedule was very good. I mean, we had Buena Vista twice, who was a World Series team last year. North Carolina Wesleyan, we had 3 times down there. They have 2 national titles under their belt. Franklin went to the NCAA tournament last year. They're 17-4 right now, and 2 of those losses came to us in the opening weekend. So for as good as the CCIW has been the last few years, and it might even be a little bit better this year, I think, in the Diamond, playing competition like that is only going to make us better when it comes to conference play.
And it seems the Cardinals really have played up to the competition. If you take away that first loss, it seems like almost every game the Cardinals have been right in there, with every loss being under 2 runs or less. So that really shows that this Cardinal team, can play with the best of the best in the country. Yeah,
I don't think there's any doubt from a talent standpoint that we have the opportunity to be very good, and I think very good for a while. I think we lost 5 seniors out of our 9-man offensive lineup last year. This year, on most given days now, if you throw a pitcher in there, 7 of our 10 in our lineup are freshmen or sophomores. And to be able to compete at that level, which we have, I think, with that much youth, is incredibly promising, I think, for what we're going to do. Talent-wise isn't the problem. I think the adjustment level for some of our guys, and I've probably had to be a little bit harder this year in doing so because it's more between the ears than it is anything on the field. I mean, I almost don't even care who we play. It really is a matter of between the ears, being disciplined every pitch, trying to win every inning. That's the difference, and I think the challenge that our guys have to face and get used to a little bit.
And it seems like the Cardinals have shown that discipline when you guys start CCIW play. You start off with wins against Carthage and Augustana, teams that were picked, higher than you guys in the preseason poll, but the Cardinals jump out to a 4-run record.
Yeah, it probably should be 5-0. We've had a couple games like that. I mean, you mentioned some of our close games. I think of our 5 losses, I know at least 2 of them that I can think of. We're literally 1 strike away from winning the ball game. And a base hit, an error, a wild pitch, I think, in one instance, and we end up losing in extra innings or in that 9th inning. So we're right there. And I think that's shown in conference play so far. We're in the midst of a 4-game conference road swing right now with Illinois Wesleyan coming up on Friday. But to go to Augustana, who was 14-5 maybe going into the game yesterday, the doubleheader yesterday, to win 2 on the road in 2 close games, obviously when you can take 2 out of 3 at Carthage, our goal is at the very least to win 2 out of 3 every weekend against those 7 opponents for the 21 conference games. And, so far we're 2 for 2 in winning series. And if we can keep doing that, and we haven't played our best baseball yet, but if we can continue to grow, which I think we have over the last few weeks, I think the sky's the limit for us, and it will be for a while, I think.
Well, we hope to see that limit be reached. The Cardinal Report was there to see the team open up CCIW play by putting a notch in the win column. Let's go to the highlight. North Cenrtal College and head coach John Fitzgerald getting ready to take on the Redmen of Carthage. Chris Singh warming up for the Cardinals, while Tyler Eckmeyer leads the defending CCIW tournament champs into Zimmerman Stadium. Redmen up 1-0 in the bottom of the third as Peter Romanello sets the tone for the inning with the leadoff single. Luke Waldeer follows that with a hit to left. Both runners advance on the Alex Corey sacrifice bunt. And that would bring up Sam Carius. The Valparaiso transfer comes up big, driving one down the left field line, scoring both Cardinal runners. His double gives North Cenrtal a 2-1 edge after 3. Same score in the 5th as Joey Aleo sends a chopper to second, but it takes a Redmond bounce, and Eckmeyer would come in to tie the game up at 2 apiece. In the bottom half of the inning, the Cardinals are trying to answer with 2 outs. Corey keeps the inning alive with his double that bounces off the 330 sign and left. Carius would follow that up with a walk as Joe Paprone comes to the plate, and he finds the gap between third and short as Corey turns on the Jets and races home to give the Cardinals a 3-2 lead. Redmond threatening again in the top of the 7th, but Singh makes the right call on the bunt and gets the lead runner out at third. Tyler Herman would come in to pitch the 9th, and he gets the Redmen down in order to earn his second save, and the Cardinals open up the CCIW schedule with a 3-2 win over Carthage College. So, Coach, you sort of touched on a little bit about how tough the CCIW schedule can be, but how does that prepare the Cardinals for hopefully where they want to get in the postseason?
Well, I think, it's always going to be a bit of a flip of the coin. You don't know how teams are going to do. I think that the CCIW, and I think the numbers probably bear this out over the last 5 to even 10 years, is got to be one of the top 2, if not 3 conferences in the country at this level. And I think this year, when you take a look at the stats and how teams are doing, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that you're going to have 7 of the 8 teams be over 500 and win 20 games this year.
Wow.
You've got Elmhurst, who's 4-1 right now. I think North Park's the only team who's undefeated right now. I think Illinois Wesleyan might be 4-1 like we are. Top to bottom, it's a really good conference. And I don't think there's any reason, if things continue this way, that you could get 3 of the 8 teams in the NCAA tournament field. And that would be great for our conference. But I think that's an expectation by playing difficult non-conference teams, and obviously for us trying to win every series and get better every weekend. If we can put ourselves obviously in an opportunity to win the conference tournament and get the automatic bid, that's a number 1. But if we've done our work, where if we stub our toe a little bit, we still have an opportunity to get an at-large. From a program standpoint and what we want to do, that's got to be our goal.
Yeah, like you said, it seems like a bunch of teams are really right there at the top of the conference. Cardinals, as you said, you guys are tied for second at 4-1, but there's a chance to make some separation this weekend when you guys play Illinois Wesleyan. And you guys have been getting contributions from people that haven't been on this team for long, from freshmen and transfers. What has that meant for this team, and how have it they hit the ground running on the field?
Well, I think talent-wise, we're pretty good when we want to be. From a gelling standpoint, from a lot of new faces, we've gotten good leadership from some of our seniors who have been able to pull some of those guys in and show them the work ethic it takes and what we kind of expect from a program standpoint. But I also don't think we've played our best baseball yet, and I think some of that does take time a little bit. It's a 40-game season, which for high school guys might seem long because they might play 30 to 35, and obviously we start practice in January, where in the high school they only start in first week of March.
Mm-hmm. And with such a long season, how do you ration guys' time on the field, try and get breaks in there and, give guys days off? How do you as a coach, pick what days and what players to give time off to?
You don't. You really don't have the luxury. There are times that you would like to be able to do that. And I think yesterday would have been a perfect example, but unfortunately, we've got 2 conference games, and we've got 21 of them. And they all mean a tremendous amount. When we play Dominican University, we play the University of Chicago. It's not a CCIW game, but because they're in our region, if we do stub our toe in the conference tournament and look for an at-large bid, all those games have huge meaning for where we rank out. So you don't really have that luxury. You hope that guys are conditioned, guys can play through some nicks and bangs and a little bit of pain. And you kind of hope for the best. When you see somebody break down a little bit, obviously you make a choice, and I think we're deep enough between being on the mound and at some positions this year, more so than we have been in the previous few years, and I think that'll help us down the line. But you know, you don't have that luxury of giving guys too much time off because it's a quick, compact season, and you just kind of hope for the best.
Well, we'll be hoping for the best this year for you guys. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by two veteran Cardinals helping this year's squad close out the competition.